No, I'm here. Did it stop freezing?
Yeah, the screen's frozen again for you. It could be my computer. This is a 10-year-old laptop here. It's hanging up.
What's up?
Okay, you're live.
Okay, do you want me to start reading?
Ladies and gentlemen, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Catherine Zaleski.
Yes, go.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off my reading with a classic poem that I've read quite a lot during Vertigo's poetry readings. It was written about 5 years ago. It's entitled America, and it's written about when I first moved to Philadelphia. Stuck hot, sweaty day in July. The streets are like molds of some hidden place seen in the third world country. But I'm here in America, where everyone is free and the justice is abundant. Just as long as you can survive the sweltering sun in the summer, and only imagining what the winter days can hold for such a lovely sight of poverty. The guns overhead, the guns in my head, the barrel, better off dead. Scores of dead bodies like Holocaust. And the inner city don't know World War II, or how the mafia cuts deep throats and lays bodies inside playgrounds on the south side. The ghetto is deader than the real city lights. Harlem is all cleaned up now. Multi-billionaires with their maid service sex, no dust, no hooligans, and mercy is only talked about on Sunday church pews. I surrender. I call quits to the excuses of houses that these people live in, how the trash strewn throughout the sidewalks, the pavement. It's dinner for those that cart metal luggage with 55 cents in bottle returns, unknowing that Pennsylvania doesn't redeem and recycle because of all the tourists that dirty the street to see the Liberty Bell that is broken. And all the English spoken letters written for our new country. She's called America, and she is baby, all democratic and justice for all, except for those that live nearby in the city streets, the inner city, the hot, smoldering summertime sun. It's all pussy wet, and I laugh like hollow shit through my eyes as I stand in the middle of the street praying to just get home, not get shot, killed, maimed, dead on arrival, like last night. All the gangsters, all the bullet wounds, bullets, holes like holes in the head, the yellow tape, sticky names, promises kept and aborted. I see drug dealers sucking spoons with melted lighters near their lips. I see children holding their children, killing ants in playgrounds they call home. But our mayor, he says we all right. He says at least not many homeless, even if the inner city is sick. He says we ain't got money, but we got Jesus, and we saved, unlike the white men, unlike the followers through time who got us here. Our mayor was shot last night. Big bad man and a bigger gun. And the inner city still looks the same. And those promises made by our father, we finally found out that our country just lies. She is dead. I am here in some great big picture Picasso painted years ago. I hide in cave dwellings inside the graveyard down the street. I got mud in my ears, no food, and I can't spell your name nor pronounce the words I speak because I am poor in the inner streets, forgotten, unlike the rest of America. So that's my classic poem, and I forgot the time. All right, and this a lot of these poems are actually untitled, and they're written around the same time period. Yes. Okay. That's okay. All right. All right. Can you guys hear me all right? So a lot of these poems are untitled, and they're written about the same time period. And I feel like my theme is about a person. I specifically don't know who they were written about at that time, but the feelings that you will get from these poems are that of descriptions of emotions that are felt with relationships and loved ones. So the first one is written on December 4th, 2007. He rose his hands towards his flesh, darkened and beautiful like the depth of his soul. And I wish I could tell him the truth about how scared my soul is of him, not of death, of all the strangers that go away and never come back. And if he only knew, if only one more conversation left him an impression, not a lost soul in a dingy diner in Yonkers, New York, on some random day of haunting nights that left me cold and lost like before. Before he died, before the bullet hit his skull, before I knew the words of death weren't so serious. It's the whole gravity of existence that fades, which becomes significant while we all wait. So we sit over breakfast, and I try not to stare at my life. How the documentary of birds before I slept became a dream when I awoke, where his life in the other room was far from me. When the light went out, when all the words became lost, I was still there. Like a phoenix of retaliation, a non-communicable purification that I was only hoping for 3 hours before, some 4 years earlier, before I lost the soul. So the tragedy that hits him, the space between him and me, the way my words don't make sense in his ears, and how I never win a race that I've been running with for a long time, a long memory that just won't go away. Like how he doesn't understand, I know him. I know how his feelings begin to wrap like a cherished thought when alone, when no one is around. I know him. Not like the stranger of a reflection in a far-off city, a damper of lights that I use as interlining. Something soft and love-felt. Something I wish I could say to make it all work, like the past I left and tell him about. How his soul isn't here. How the way that the bullet took his soul as I stare. Like how the truth isn't always what makes a completion real. It's the way the smile size that I hold dear. How, when everything is wrong, I'm still here. How, when that morning I left back home, I left his feelings inside a soul that lost the darkness and depth. Like a vase without water for a dying flower. Except, when I hold the truth still, I lose control of my time, of the way I look at his hand in disbelief, in some loss he always thinks about but never will admit. So I look away on a sad day. I ride the train back home. I think my heart hurts. I think my words are lost. And all the excuses I keep broken, all the itineraries are spoken. And me, like the bullet he died from, I think I see tomorrow has gone. The boat sails along, and my words, like a token I've forgotten, become invisible. A silhouette of the past that has become something of a trust. And the truth, it sits there in the hands, holding his head that day while I run my race and get away, far from me, in memory. That's it. This one's written on December 12th, 2007, and it's titled On Top of a Mountain. I talk about whales and how each seashore has an ultimate eye which we cannot see. My spokes poke out of the bicycle rims. The new aerial view on top of the mountain overlooking the sea is beautiful. So I start to cry. My hands shake with freedom and all the words in my mouth deteriorate. I just found God inside my head, outlined in black and white, like clouds that form new shapes. And I am alone, with my newfound freedom, on top of a canary yellow star. This whole day is like a puzzle left over from a poor me soul gift bag. All the different flavors that taste like cotton candy become too sweet to digest. And my thoughts are done. I lost love in the palm of my hand, and I sweat deliriously through my skin, sort of sickly and cancer-stricken. I've lived to tell strangers about my name. I told my closest stage handlers that my body is frozen in another time. My heart, light blue. My tongue, spoken with dialects that I have no knowledge of. So I laugh harder and more painfully as I lose all senses of the inside. My highest summit stands on top of a mountain I created. Through a sea I can only imagine, and a heart, if it still beats, if I hadn't lost count, it's deep. Like these thoughts, I weep. December 14th, 2007. 8 blackened cities worth dying for. I find myself on the edge of words, so I sorrowfully become silent in the daylight. As if the worst imagined virus swept over the entire population, and I was left by myself, stroking the virgin rose of a new slaughter. Another squeamish nightmare I was only warned about. So the silence grows. Outer space doesn't seem so alone, so thought-provoking, yet sterile. I admire the calligraphy and painting of our Jesus, the imbecile that slides towards the ground as I catch him. I ponder his fluent moves, his verbal communication as I become silent. The teardrops taste like liquor, the wasteland of a non-existent plane that I stare at. It's cold like mercury, sweltering like a sun. And these hot days that I pour alone my soul to, it's washed up on a land that I only thought of while staring hard into the aftermath of disaster. No more hurricanes, no more war, no more greed and the countless homeless on the streets, no more shotguns, barrels, bullets, life waste, no more hatred, secrets, a scorched face. No more death do us part, no more I love you forever, and no, please no more strangers begging at my feet. I am bombshells. I am gunshot wounds. I am broken hands from a child's parent. I am city streets in need of salvation. I am you, but you just cannot see. It's became too late. The people have drowned. The people are dead. And I have found myself alone. The nightmare exists. Even though it's in my head, the late night darkened sky is yet but a twinkle in my eye. I see spaceships. I saw God. I see 13 bloody glass shards upon the bed of my last lover, and I feed pain to my heart. The black, the blue, and all the pages upon pages of silence kept, silence known, and 8 holes of black freedom from a dark night alone. December 17th, 2007. Oh, what?
Oh, I said I love your
I can't
work.
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. What?
Oh, just a second.
What's up? Huh? Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna go on. Oh, I've been doing it for half my life. I don't know. But let me read more. Do you mind? Okay. December 17th, 2007. He talks to me. Tells me what it's like to be in a world war. And I just sigh as the blood begins to slowly pump through my heart, and I'm reborn. The trouble in this city, how carnivals are occupants, my mercy. Just a gravity that becomes gracious towards the moon all night, in a bed I cannot define. As I smile simply towards the darkened light of eternity, the shallow streets towards home. I lost my home in a paper cup my mother once made for me. And when I was a child, I dreamt of him and how he would hold me like I needed someone. And I would just smile, simple, like today. My thoughts become pure around the embedded sight of loneliness. I saved 3 ringworms from eating holes in my skull. And I survived. So he talks to me, tells me lies are for sale, and I laugh, as if I knew what it was like to love. How contagious my tears become to the dead. How my voice is spoken softly when posthumous tales exist. And I just tear. Like the thoughtful way I was introduced to strangers, how ambient and cold my fingers become as I realize the mistakes of happiness are just a recondition of truth. The way the bottle breaks, the mirror lied about my age, and my trust in a world war he only spoke about, I become silent with dreams. He once told me he could create beautiful pictures with words, and his name I never caught. Just the way his eyes closed made me remember how it used to be, how lost I've become, and how the desert that whispers secrets to me. It's like an ocean roar of tidal waves in these city streets. The makeup, the run of stage lights, my face, and how I can't smile. The people wearing beggars' clothes, and how Jane Eyre was a seldom mistake in my eyes. In my heart, how wrong the world begins to shake. So I tell him about my past, how vivid the hours deepen, how stray and difficult my last words are, and the kiss, how it was never felt. My lips sealed with apologies, for I wept an eternity towards the moon, a lifetime of old saints towards the sky. And in my hands, his last words, as my eyes close in the pouring rain from a city I don't know. And a man I only met once, for a child that I have lost, and a woman I've become. In some strange land I have gone forever with lies untold and secrets forever kept. Okay. December 20th, 2007. I work with severely arthritic hands. My spine, like a snake, becomes coiled and cocked. And my muscles, the ones left, They could deteriorate any time, like an atomic bomb with big red capital letters that spell out the wrong words, the wrong date, and the wrong ways I like to touch myself late at night when no one is around. In the blue rain, the derailing of plastic trains, the colorful Christmas lights that lack any sort of amusement, the man on the pinnacle, the left-handed folly, and sickly, like my bones, everything grows old. I strain mucus to clear my throat so I can speak coherently about the war. The history you've only felt in the touch of silicone ice. Raped passion. And the poison of some unscathed biography that depicts hollow shells of bullets. Long laughs of outlines. Emaciated and punctured organs that only live on the edge of something savaged. Something dark and gloomy I forgot about. So I cowered a bit longer in some mold gout hole and pondered the difference between numbers and syllables. The regretted and prohibited suggestions that make my night a little bit more livable. A trap beneath the jailhouse cell that I crawl through to escape in. To blush over a flower petal seductively and kiss the hollow sight of your pulsating lips beneath my moist breast. And I laugh hysterically like a plagued victim of some French film, black and white. Running mutated images through a keyhole I spy. Black and white repeat. And I work harder and much faster in my world of non-existence. I seek therapy in washed out eyes as some hypocrite. So I dig deeper and I find my bones, find all the decay of DNA. I dry my lips and swallow the germs of disease. Just to stay hungry in the night. To stay alive, like you once were. In between my arms and through my dreams, I die. December 21st, 2007. Whose eyes become closed with the first glance, how round and rotated the end of the day begins to spin. Like tin tops in the World War II. Chandelier dreams and wet tear memories. A flower left beside your heart. I weep. There are 10 million things I wanted to tell you, and 100, perhaps more, I could have told you in a moment's time, without my heart aching. But it never happened. I sit thinking about the dreams in my head, shards of glass pane, like thoughts at 1 a.m. I can't decipher between your reality and my suffocation. The palms that dry sweetly over the paper as I speak silently to you about my world. How the fossils and tiny choir boys are all so beautiful to me. How, when I whisper, I close my eyes and dream. The fire took out your father. The Russian army cold brought back your mother. And your sister died of some delirious disease while you had no brother. I tried to tell you I loved you. I cried all night in your arms the last day, but you still left on some great big voyage elsewhere. Somewhere the human eye can never see. I don't tell anyone the numbers to your bullets. And when you speak to me at night, I listen so accurately. But no one knows how much I loved you. How I scream obscenities to the world you left behind. How I'm still here, waiting for my time. If it were simple, if my thoughts were misplaced, if love was a wound in the flower beneath your face, it would be love, like a bird without a song. But the world's back becomes turned in my existence, and the confusion of their laughter never wears off. The sadness that grows insanely through my pores, my skin that becomes dry with living. I still wait by the candle for you to come home. But the journey elsewhere makes you invisible. I tell people of their sorrow and they wish to ignore. I speak softly about my ideas and how they were so pure. My loss. Forever, if I find myself beyond the mirror reflection, if the hands that guide me towards that of which I lost, I will be set free. Until then, I wander like a canary yellow songbird. My heart broken, my voice cracked, and all the words I sing to you, let them be the scent of the flower near your chest. December 25th, 2007. Through the faces of the World War, as I speak about the filtering effects of visions, the aftermath, and how I hate him. The laughter, the empty sorrow that won't change the day or time. I still become punctual with the keynotes, the keyboard, the letters that make my raw skin so worn. I got blood on my fingers, dripping secrets on the floor. Each syllable is random slur as I move in and out of consciousness. So I become silent. Letting memory seep into my pores, I fall asleep with the lights turned dim, walking up to a new day. The same gray. The contagious way my heart aches, so I keep going. I see visions of escape, white tunnels, white light, and angels holding my soul. So I stay a bit longer, taking in all the beautiful passions, and the day breaks a bit harder. The truant spatial matter becomes gruesome and sickly. The World War doesn't get any better, and my apologies, it won't last. The visions have escaped like the blood dripping from my finger, the way beggars begin to die. I look up into the sky and I see heaven, but just a bit further. And this is a short poem that was written on January 3rd, 2008. It's called The End. I want to tell him many things, how the rain doesn't change the endless seas. I fight for time. For in my heart, what is right, and he laughs. I need to show him the many things, the way my words are softly spoken through my eyes in silence. How he doesn't know me anymore. Now this is written on January 3rd, 2007. It was New Year's. It's called New Year's Ever. He, the bold, black, and unknown. Chinatown in 40-degree weather, we talk nonsense. I like him. He, Yonkers, New York, 52 and still punk. I love him. I, broken about the past that still haunts me, scared of memory, happy to be home. I call my mother and apologize that I can't come and see her. I made it halfway, but the other half is stuck in my left shoe, dying of old age. She smiles and hangs up on the other line. My first New Year's in celebration of something I've lost, something not good anymore. But I need a new me, so I sell myself like a 5-dime hoard to the world that is waiting. All the useless words I write he speaks about, tells me how poor I am, how bad my English is, how I need to fight. He runs away to lose himself in a crowd that doesn't care about his face, his warm hands, his lost ways of going on painlessly. And I don't smile. It's New Year's Eve and another year. How many things have broken? How many skies have come clear? My eyes don't water as much as they used to, nor can I remember plainly what I see. I just keep going like pornography and scenery, a real hot cause of abundance in my little sketched out world. He stands behind me and watches me, can't figure to love or hate, but just be there as my head falls down and my feet are murder. My hands tied and secrets kept as the lights grow a bit brighter. It's the new year, new life, knew ever in time. And he still doesn't know me, the bitter of my last bullet, as I describe to him my loss. How I tell him, in order to know me, you need to know the scenery. And he tells me the tragedy is too hard for me to handle and nothing for him to feel. So I leave. I pay the bill to the overnight breakfast club. I tell him I want to go home and go to sleep and forget about reality. Just a bit longer. How much pain I have and the anger I know, while he just watches the days turn into nights. The me who he knew, the him I wanted to know. It begins to become over in a new year, a special moment, a kiss on the cheek. In my tears I hide until he turns the light off. I try to explain to him, I try to tell him I've tried, but he just doesn't get it and doesn't want to know. So I leave, again. Like the last time, the last year. The way he tries to make me feel better as I stare into the new year and wonder. January 9th, 2008. Like a blind acrobat playing the part. The sad clown. No, the saddest clown making you laugh. I find redundancy in the most obscure ways. How drifting in and out of consciousness is all you wanted to feel. And then I left you, like a wombat in the depth of night. How the clouds float in crystal horizons while I stare out my open window looking for you. I told you all the different colors in my eyes seem to shed, like an amphibian, a reptile of religious delight. My new skin becomes the wedding vows of your last words, so I sink thoroughly through the oceans and search for your cure of wounds. And I keep searching. High through mountains of emptiness and height of evolutions, I kneel down towards the heat of flames and fire that hell has handed off towards the earth, and I can't seem to see too clearly. The strangers depart from the train station daily, and I watch, each and every face like a tadpole developing its legs into a frog forever. I watch motionless as the daily lives pass so quickly. And I've missed you. I walk the gardens of Rittenhouse, the musty glow of morning dew at my fingertips. Each wooden bench that casts a shadow I momentarily glance to, hoping your eyes will be the connection I vaguely see for a moment of my time. But it never becomes. So the daylight wraps tightly around my wrist like my last lover trying to keep me safe. Each raindrop that falls lightly on my lips, I lick, thinking of your taste between my words I lost. The saddest clown tears laughter into the crowd of broken dreams. I see him from afar and I just stare, wondering what made him his nightmare. So I want to touch him, make him love like that of last days. I want his happiness to be rock of some bed of lies, some fragile desperation of his wanting peace through my hands. The acrobat of existence cannot see the tightrope rig, the feet of pedestal abundance dangling below his chin. So I worry. I hand off $100 bills to every golden smile I walk past while I look for you. And I'm engrossed and enraptured by the fatal hint of origami. I tell the blind man that the sun hasn't been seen in quite some time, that the frost left over from winter days has numbed the soul that still clings to ideological ways. So he starts to cry at my feet while I warm his backward spine, but he cannot feel. And the clown song is the saddest yet, while you're still not here to catch my fall. I keep searching. This one is written on January 11th, 2008, and it's called The Crash of Lovers. The impact of the accident, how decline never felt, the crash of the words I left, and the imprint smeared in tastes I fight. Delirious and abundant, I want to speak to him in third person, some real Japanese speech that only him and I can understand through secret things, the way my dreams lie. He vanished like an electric alarm in high-speed pursuit. A delicate array of beautiful things he told me, and how I bore reality far from truth. The hollow eyes as my head spins, the holy hands that hold me in, 2 o'clock daydream of other things, the accident, the next to kin. I drove for miles to see his flesh, his worn circles, his stranger abyss. But he didn't remember, didn't see. The illustrations of cardboard cutouts, the dollies of imagery. He goes on, like a bed full of poison ivy, real strange fruit of blue songs, the death row hillbillies, and the scared, wretched foe. The crush of lovers that never loved, the simplest of syphilis in the orange blow. The world wins, lottery the next day, my heart, your time, your laugh, your death. I will write Spanish songs to the break of dawn about your soul that I've lost. I promise, like a Shakespearean theater art, I pledge no lies to our love. The gods give me holiday, the earth a shiny smile, my tears a bellowing sorrow, my hours without you now. The accident of detrimental madness between two lovers becomes faint, and faith by the hands pull us apart. The end. January 16th, 2008. This one's titled God. Decompression of magnitude existence. I have failed tremendously through thick desires and endless things. The quiet sounds of freedom that rage through the streets of some land I have not known. I become silent and listen. My eyes become abstract with fractals and images, something my mind cannot figure out, something a bit beyond my comprehension of understanding, so I keep them closed. I find solitude in the unknown for just one moment. An awakening towards oneself that I cannot hold with 2 hands. A baby is born into the world of wars, of thieves, things we don't speak about. So I cry. January 19th, 2008. To acquire the knowledge of the unknown, how the day speaks fluently about overriding into fantasy. So I become silent and listen. My pupils dilate to a circumference lost on a calculator. I tell stories of my childhood through dripping tears and frugal actions, and I don't believe. As if the everlasting light that the angel shed is real. And how my fantasy is just soap suds in a bathtub I drown in every night. My God works hard on hiding the future in the palms of his hands. The weather is fair and thick inside the holes of blackened migraines. So I keep walking through the forest that has no end. The sun shines brightly in the afternoon. While at night, I can hear my heart beat just a bit louder through the frosty breaths of air in front of me. So I stay there thinking about my world, how the city is lost in undertows. The faces that lay vacant, expressions leave my sight so rapidly through the trees, and I don't cry this time. In the unknown, the thieves are like lovers with pinpoint promises that break with loud noises. The liars are like rebels without a backbone. just ideas of something more wrong than what their worlds can bring them. So I laugh and throw stars new names with holy pictures of slavery towards the sky. All my words are fixated in kaleidoscope collages. My sight, it's like a newborn child's. The taste in my mouth is fresh and ominous. My heart, it pulsates unconditionally, fluid and moist. My tears drip. The fantasy of my reality is surreal and penetrating through my skin. My hours of indecision, the way the clock slowly moves forever in the same position. I leave like on a new day, an old world, and I don't look back. Not even for a deliberate movement of saying goodbye. I leave, far off, away for eternity. January 20th, 2008. Time is like the eclipse to eternity, so I keep searching for him and find figments and fractals of memory mixed with imagination. I ponder in great lengths the thoughts of Spanish love, how radiant the sun burns two holes inside the souls of dwarfs. And I can't fight the sickness of longevity, how lonely and illustrated the mind departs, the darkness in the night. So I find peace in the moment, a new example of a lost cause. I wait hours for communication, some sort of duck-filled answer as to why the moon split in two. How the ocean sea is sick and the liquid sap drips flavors I can only remember as honey. The harp is a familiar voice that creates whimsical passions of endless time with betrayal and compromises of truth that I lost inside another soul, a scenic starvation of searching eternity. How fragile and past he's become in my memory. Late and tarnished, my dreams end when I had given up. When all the falling stars become sudden clouds of smoke. Fishing flies and pastimes as I left in childhood. I keep searching through different cities, strangers' eyes, wrong voices, and blue skies. And how on the final day of rigid flags and world wars, I begin to realize the clusters of broken dreams that have been stashed in my left pocket, wet and smeared from heavy rains. I read the details of enormous apologies, scantly letters in cursive. I read feverishly his last words before I lost him many, many years ago. This one's called Our War. It was on February 19th. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I'm done. Okay, I did not realize that. That's crazy. I'm actually gonna read the poem that Vertigo had published in one of his zines. Let me go get it. It's right here. This is in Vertigo's zine called Vending Machine, Poetry for Change. And I don't know when it was written, but the title of the poem is called Depth of an End. Thank you, Vertigo, by the way. Okay. Enormous waves of ocean sea come strangling my insides. A corpse of dead weight lifted from a sun that knew no darkness. And depth was only spoken about from bits and pieces of time-compressed thoughts. How transit was impossible in this lifetime. So I wait another day for the arrival of something solid, something I can hold with my fragile hands, the extension of fingers, brittle bones of cartilage, and love. How mystery becomes abundant and blurred. A tint of red origami. A sudden impulse of a beating heart that has been wrenched through palpitations and denial and excess fraudulence. Torn words spoken through a kingdom of great hierarchy and honor. The shedding of light through the translucent skin of such an angel. And I still wait through the filter light, the closeness of darkness, and that in which I cannot see as an ending towards a new day. The external tranquility of a thought beyond myself. The way the hands press tightly against each other, through waves of ocean, sea, and skies of reflecting symmetry, I can find myself again on an edge, the great impossible, and endlessness within myself. Depth. There you go. Thank you.
I love your stuff.
Bye.
Bye. I love your work. You should consider reading more often.
I read when Vertigo wants me to. Thank you. Bye.
You need to go to some shows there in Philly. They got a pretty decent poetry scene too.
Hey, I can barely hear you, Chris. I'm tired.
I said you need to go to some poetry shows there in Philly. They've got a pretty decent-sized poetry scene, too.
Well, I don't know where it is. You have to show me. Why don't...
Was that the hang-up sound? Okay. It's kind of funny. And when I asked her to
Go ahead and unplug the one in the front.
Hey, what's up? Cat? Hey, what's up? Hey, we were saying that, what were we saying? What were you saying?
You need to go to some shows in
We have
Philly.
some shows in Philly as well. We'll let you know. You know the Philadelphia youth team won the youth nationals, right? So we're seeing
Brave New Voices.
Brave New Boy, they won.
You need to get a chapbook manuscript to me. All right. I'm going to do a little set here. Can't guarantee it'll be good.
I'm about to go add you now.
I'll start this off with one that's not my own, so to ease you into the... Later, Kathy. This is a piece by Taylor Malley. I've become rather partial to it since the Poets Haven, my press. I'm Vertigo Xavier, by the way. Since my press started a chapbook series, I've had to do a lot of editing, including very surprising editing from people that I didn't think I would have to do any. So this is the impotence of proofreading. Has this ever happened to you? You work very hard on a paper for English class, and then get a very glow raid like a D or even a D equals, and all because you are the world's liverwurst spoiler. Proofreading your peppers is a matter of the utmost impotence. This is a problem that affects manly students. I myself was such a bad spiller once upon a term that my English teacher in my sophomoric year, Mrs. Smith, said I would never get into a good colleague, and that's all I wanted, just to get into a good colleague. Not just anal community colleague, because I wouldn't be happy at anal community colleague. I needed a place that would offer me intellectual stimulation. I really needed to be challenged menstrually. I know this makes me sound like a stereo, but I really wanted to go to an ivory legal colleague, so I needed to improvement. Or gone would be my dream of going to Harvard, jail, or prison in Prison, New Jersey. So I got myself a spell checker. I figured I was on Sleazy Street. But there are several mistakes that a spell checker can't catch. For instance, if you accidentally leave a word, your spell checker won't put it in you. And God, for billing purposes only, you should have serial problems with Tory spelling. Your spell checkoff might replace a word with one you had absolutely no detention of using. Because what do you want it to douche? It only does what you tell it to douche. You're the one with your hand on the mouth going clit, clit, clit. It just goes to show you how embargo one careless clit of the mouth can be. Which reminds me of this one time during my junior mint. The teacher read my entire paper on a sale of 2 titties out loud to all of my ass mates. I'm not joking. I'm totally serial. It was the most humidifying experience of my life, being laughed at pubically. So do yourself a favor and follow these 2 Pisces of advice. 1, there is no prostitute for careful editing. And 3, when it comes to proofreading, the red penis your friend. Thanks, that's Taylor Malley, not mine. Okay. There's a reason I don't write very many original pieces, even though I've got a handful here. These, technically, this is 2 of them. They were written in 1995. I repeat, 1995. I was a sophomore in high school when these were written. I filled a dozen or so notebooks with this kind of drivel. Those notebooks have all been burned. I tried throwing them away back in 2000 or 2001, but my mother found them and saved them. I found them some years later and then made sure they saw the warmest portion of the backyard fire pit. Out of those horrid journals, only 7 poems remain. Out of those 7 poems, only 2 of them can be described as better than Vogon poetry. The 2 poems you are about to hear are not those poems. And an additional preface to quote, poetry, well written, can be a spiritually uplifting experience. Badly written, it can be an experience of buttock-clenching horror. The 3rd worst poetry in the universe is written by Vogons and is frequently used as a form of torture. The absolute worst poetry was written by Paula Nancy Millstone Jennings. It involved decaying swans. Luckily, it was destroyed during the demolition of planet Earth. That is from Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like I said, these 2 are not better than what the Vogons write. Visions of insanity running through my head make me wish sometimes that I had stayed dead. The life that I came back for is no longer mine to live. The feelings that I had are no longer mine to give. I escaped my personal hell to enter one much worse, reborn to immortality with a life now dispersed. My life was gone in the early dawn. My loves were lies, my hopes cries. Tears blurring my vision, I cry for the life I've lost. I shall live forever, but at what cost? Needless to say, me circa 1995 spent way too much time listening to Meatloaf albums, watching Highlander, and reading Anne Rice novels. This, however, is one of the 2 that, adjust this mic so I'm not leaning into it so much. There, hey, that works. This is one of the ones that actually is pretty good. It's kind of a rambling thought, and it is most definitely inspired by characters from Neil Gaiman's The Sandman series, particularly Delirium. I once had a dream that I had a dream, but it was just a dream, I think. And I couldn't remember what that dream was, but can you have a dream within a dream so you can dream about a dream? And I once knew a guy who had a dream, but the dream died and he was dead and nobody ever saw him again, so nobody knew what the dream was. Maybe not him, but I dream I can dream and my dreams don't make sense, but I can't dream unless I'm asleep and the dreaming won't let me sleep. But a dream told me I couldn't dream asleep, so I have to dream awake. And you can't dream awake, I think. Hmm? I've read it a few times. I usually read it after reading those other two horrible Vogon pieces. It was, yeah. That was 96. That one was originally written. I changed a couple words when I printed it out last year. But haiku. Lost my connection, now completely out of touch with the world at large. That was at the Jawbone reading last year. I was looking for stuff to read on poetshaven.com using my phone to get on there and lost my connection. And everybody started doing haikus, and all of a sudden that just popped into my head. That doesn't happen too often. This is called Helpless. And anybody who's ever had to deal with IT departments or help desk, if you type the word help desk into a computer and then run spell checker, it tries to change it to the word helpless. That explains so much. Learn everything there is to know about IT work in 10 seconds or less. Lesson 1, keep trying shit until something works. Congratulations, you now know everything you need to know to be a Microsoft certified help desk technician. Yeah, I do not like dealing with the helpless desk at my day job. I've read this damn near everywhere. Everybody's heard it, so I'm sure everybody who watches this online has probably heard me do it before at some point, even if you know you live in another country or something. I have to preface this one. I'm a single guy, but I have rules about dating. Simple rules. They don't need too much explaining. Rule 1, no smokers. Ashtray mouth is disgusting, and I'm actually allergic to tobacco anyway. Rule 2, no more than 6 years younger, no more than 10 years older. That one's gotten adjusted as I've gotten older. Rule 3, no more chicks named Angie. Long story. Rule 4, do not try to convert a lesbian. Any attempt to do so will be met with abject failure. There's others, but with those ones in mind, I bring you A Single Man's Lament at a poetry reading. A fiery redhead, shaped so fine, sporting a punk rock tee and a black denim jacket. Confident, self-assured, attractive as all get out. Excuse me. I knew there was a reason I brought my water up here. Confident, self-assured, attractive as all get out. Cleavage as far as the eye can see. Did I mention she was fine? Her turn at the mic. A good writer. A great performer. Could she be any more perfect? And this next piece is dedicated to my girlfriend. Damn! Roll it up and go home. Electric blue hair and biker tattoos. Hot as hell, notebook in hand, ready to slam. Watch as she walks by, her voluptuous ass squeezed into black leather. Oh, the things I'd like to do. She steps outside. To get some air? To use a phone? No. The flick of a bic as she lights a nail. Damn it. Roll it up and go home. A blonde bombshell, wild, crazy, more animated than a cartoon character. A buxom brunette, strong, athletic. Maybe she plays softball. I've got a bat she can swing. As I chat at the bar, I cannot decide which gal I want to approach. Anybody got a coin I can borrow? Wait, no, ladies, please don't practice CPR in public. Hell, I don't think I can roll it up, but it is gonna go home. I need to write more. I want to do it. No, I'm shut. I'm not. I'm not. I've got a spot where I want to do my own chapbook. I don't. And I've got a title for it. I just don't have enough material to fill one up. I don't have time to write my own stuff. This is kind of a comedy bit. It's kind of long, so I'm sure our audience will forgive me, all however many people are watching online.
Kinkechi's watching. Hey, Kinkechi.
Poetry doesn't pay the bills. I work a day job, and I'm betting most of you work day jobs. It sucks, but you can't live on art alone. So be it. I spend my days in a return center warehouse. Customer returns, one after another. Identify the customer, identify the item, identify the return reason, process the return, tag it for inventory, send it down the line, over and 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 over again. This dress is too small. These shoes are too big. I didn't realize this belt was made out of real leather. This zebra print rug was not made from real zebra skin. This $14 coffee maker was made in China. I expected it to be made in the USA. This MP3 player stopped working after going through the wash cycle in my pants pocket. This digital camera doesn't have anywhere to load the film. Yes, these are all real. It gets incredibly monotonous. It gets to the point where you can't remember one item from the next because you are bored as fuck. I have a proposition to improve the situation. Stock beer in the break room vending machines. See, all day, every day, we're here 9 hours wanting nothing more than to leave and go to a bar. All we want to do is get the hell out of there and go get a drink. Bring the alcohol to us and we won't need to leave. Productivity would be improved by alcohol's ability to cause short-term memory loss, eliminating the effects of monotony. Instead of dragging through a return after return after return, each item would be like the first of the day, a brand new experience. Beer in the vending machines would also reduce the number of absences and sick days taken. Most absences are, in fact, not caused by illness. Most sick days are taken as a result of the fuck-its. We would rather stay at home, fucking off, drinking beer all day, than come into work. Beer will also improve the workforce's pain threshold. Lost time due to heavy lifting-induced muscle pain, fluorescent light-induced migraines, and repetitive motion injuries will be drastically reduced. As long as the team continues to drink, we won't be able to feel damn near anything, once again increasing productivity. This will also make the post-holiday mandatory overtime much more tolerable. 2 or 3 extra hours a night, 6 or 8 hours on Saturday and Sunday. It won't be anything to complain about if we just work while kicking back a couple of Coronas and cranking up some Jimmy Buffett. Since I started doing a poetry podcast back in 2007, I've been forced to listen to my own voice a lot. I hate the sound of my voice. You know how you hear yourself one way in your head and then you hear a recording of yourself and wonder, who the fuck is this? See, when I hear myself speak, I get this kind of bassy, kind of gravelly sound, kind of like a Bon Jovi or Bruce Springsteen voice. I'm just saying. Then I hear recording myself, and I'm hearing fucking Papa Smurf. Seriously, by the time I release a podcast episode, my voice has been lowered 2 octaves, slowed down 7.5%, the bass increased by 15%, the mid-range boosted by 12%, and the peak highs lowered by a good 6.5%. Every recording, it's the same process, over and over and over again, which probably explains why the only episodes that ever got released on time were those that were completed when I had a fridge well stocked with beer. All right, let's get Akeem back up here. Oh, he has to do some paperwork first. He's headed to the office.
Woo! Poetry. Hey, KK. I'm about to do a poem called Teddy Bears that I just started doing again. And I'm going to try to do the long version if I can remember it.
Taller than I am.
Yeah, y'all. Can you see me? Can you see me? Yes, yes, y'all. And you don't stop. To the beat, y'all. And you don't stop. No.
Get away with a few lines.
X and O.
The whole song.
I remember when I was a little girl.
By the way, my best friend is on tour with Erykah Badu right now, so yay! In the freaking London. I don't know where he is though, because yeah, I don't know. I was editing a poem. I was reposting play pumps on Facebook when I'm editing it.
I'll leave it. I don't need to be on there.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll do play pump, not play teddy bears for Nkechi. All right. I wonder how Iraq looks through a soldier's eyes. War zone, cloned from nights spent alone in his living room. There, he built forts, all sorts of imagination. He and his teddy bear Freddie were trained together. Tiny tot cadets. No, in case I just dropped the poem. Tiny tot cadets stuck in quicksand carpeted floors. Scenes of white cotton and stuffed animal fluff burst like flash grenades into real-life scenarios of soldiers trying to hold in their intestines, tripping another landmine, and still, he has this gun and these fatigues and this peace he can't seem to get to in his mind. Only the blank stares of the war zone staring back at him through the eyes of a little Middle Eastern girl, and I wonder what Iraq looks like through the eyes of that little girl. All 8 of her years, following her like dark ribbon and white chocolate streaks, the food she eats is pirated and turned to black mail. She looks like death. If death took walks in war zones, eyes full of the very thing she's deprived of. Tears only quench the thirst of Satan, not small Iraqi girls, so she marches boldly into hell to get her water back, the black gate swinging behind her. And hell is not the usual place you get ice water, but she's here now. Satan disguised as sergeant, telling all of his demons to shoot on sight. No one makes it into heaven or hell alive. And the soldier, he plays the only angel, slipped into this place by coincidence, happenstance, quixotic with nostalgia. He just wants to play with Freddy again, but Freddy's not there. Only the blank stares of a war zone girl he let through the camp gates, stomach savagely swollen with hunger and a mission she cannot abort, whispering, "Water, please." Falls to fragility, shuddering under her black blanket, black tangles of hair in her face under the shelter. She weeps. She knows what she must do. The angel runs. The sergeant barks. "Kill the little bitch! She just wants some ice water, sir. Is that too much to ask?" It's no surprise that people in hell want, well, the angel runs with his cup of heaven. The soldiers point with their spouts of hell, clean headshots they were taught. She gropes and grabs his kneeling body in the darkness until she reaches a cheap styrofoam cup filled with the sweetest liquid she had ever known. She may as well drink. Death may as well be content. "You're welcome," he sighed. "Run," she cried, and that's when all metaphors died. He was not an angel, just an insubordinate soldier. The sergeant was no Satan, just a man wise enough to spot a death trap, and she was not death. Just a little sacrificial lamb with a bomb strapped to her chest. Her stomach wasn't swollen. "Bomb!" yelled Satan. "Fire!" yelled the God in their head, and they did. Before he had time to digest his thoughts, the bullet rain digested him, chewing through a specimen the U.S. government deemed good enough grade A meat, bullet salivation hungry, making him wet with his own blood. Pow! 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 Hanging him across his crossfire crucifix. Where's Freddy? Where's Freddy? Where's Freddy? Tiny tot cadets stuck in quicksand carpeted floors. His body doing a dirty rain dance and his dance partner. She knew this would happen. She was not surprised. She lifted tiny fingers, bone pieces dripping off of muscle sinew to pull the tail of Satan off, the grenade pack strapped to her heart. He didn't know she had one. Before he can draw his last breath, all he can think about is Freddy. Where's Freddy? Freddy, my teddy bear. Where's... And somewhere back home is a teddy bear waiting for his little boy to come back. And he never will. Thanks, Nkechi. My friend's watching on Ustream. I did that old poem for her. Welcome, people.
Ustream, not YouTube. Ustream.
Did I say YouTube?
Yeah.
I meant Ustream. Ustream. I'm sorry, Ustream. Don't fire me.
That was a close-up shot of right here. Hey, Drew, spit some. Spit something? Anything? Keen, get your butt up here. Have you ever even, like, actually read this poem?
got new people. Hi. How you guys doing tonight? Fabulous. Do you know this was going on? Yay. Accidental poetry.
This is all to get the National Poetry Slam Cleveland team ready.
It's like our Super Bowl.
It's to get us to National Poetry Slam. So there were about 8 other people who featured tonight. So far.
Mm-hmm. And we're going till 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, and we've basically taken donations and trying to raise our money so we can get to Austin in 10 days.
And oh,
Roughly $300 away from our goal, which is really good. So,
it's in 10 days. Oh, I like those numbers. I wish it was still a month away. Oh, I'm going to do that one again. I still don't have the last stanza written down. I got excited about another poem and then it died. So, all right. I like having new people here because I can do ones that I've already done tonight. Yay. I'm being the only white person on the bus. Doors slid open, giving way to brick walls. I stepped into a world secluded from the other passengers. It zipped me up like protective bubble mist mortar. It invisibly labeled me other, not just from color or lack thereof, but seeping from every carefully selected identifying factor, doubling as bullseyes for fists dipped in misguidance. Sharp eyes digging at my epidermis is not a new phenomenon. An overheard phone conversation elicits confrontation. Wrapped in shaking hands and hardened tongue, what do you know about struggle, white boy? She growls at me, and I'm struck by our separateness. Genetically induced islands zip us both into bubbles that divide us from the rest of the world and from each other. Because in this modern incarnation of communicating paradigms and heartbeats, black and transgender are synonymous with unacceptable, except my skin is painted in private, with testosterone and needlepoint paintbrushes, with pennies strictly counted and sequestered into a gaping savings account for international scalpel-built castles in the sky. But for all are separate, there is oneness here. I, too, know the taste of indiscriminate tears dispensed by those who ought to know better. I, too, have seen the fear that if they touch me, my disease might rub off on their fingertips. My people were never enslaved, but my brothers and sisters are still being slaughtered. Our brothers and sisters are still being slaughtered. My, how far we've come. What a peculiar evolution. Trapped in our individualized ghettos. I will never understand what's in the hearts of these men, how being different translates to we should not exist. Minority is not a swear word. We are not a stain to be scrubbed out of the flag. My mom used to tell me that God got bored with white, so he started painting people different colors to make the world beautiful. I feel as though if I were to reach out and grasp her hand, cold brick would touch cold brick in place of skin. So instead, I meet her eyes deeply, stowing walls and closets for the longest second in memory and say, honey, I breathe too. Did you notice how much autumn hops?
Yes.
That made me feel better. Are you ready?
I haven't read through it, but we're
You should read through it. You should read the poem before you... Just read the poem, Akeem. Okay, I'll do another one while Akeem is lollygagging. That's a word I like to use, lollygagging. It's a nice word. It's a nice word. Indubitably is my favorite. Indubitably is nice. Indubitably. That's all, folks. What am I going to do next? I think I'm going to do... How about I give you a poem about snow? Because that's the closest thing to funny I have. Dingo Dick. Read that poem. No, read that poem. Okay, well then sit back there and finish.
No, like all of a sudden you'll be listening to the radio and it's like, hey guys, do you need to feel more confident? And they just start talking about these male enhancement pills. I'm like, they're trying to be so subtle.
Man, dingo, dingo, dingo.
Further than they do. Because me and my friend
Allah,
were
Allah.
back and forth and I'm like, okay, I gotta go write this. So I wrote it. It's an okay poem, but it's humorous, I would say.
I'm not kidding. It's hilarious. Dingo, dingo. Okay. I'm not gonna do my snow poem right now. I'm gonna do, and I forgot to do this earlier. I was going to, but whatever. I'm from Canton, not from Cleveland. I don't like to talk about it. So I moved to LA last year for like a minute, and I wrote this. See, July 3rd, 6 days before I left, and it's called "Goodbye Hall of Fame City," and I think I might have it memorized. Maybe it's been a while, so. I don't like this microphone. Goodbye, Hall of Fame City. As I wander around downtown, soaking in my last days of Canton, I contemplate the feelings of oppression and depression that litter these streets like discarded McDonald's wrappers. I kick a desolate crack pipe and watch as it tumbles into the sewer with a disgruntled plunk. Abandoned buildings with broken windows, abandoned mothers, fathers, sons, daughters with broken spirits pervade this cluttered cityscape, and yet I feel a strange affinity with this place. Oh no, that's not how it goes. Sorry. And yet, I'm going to miss this place. Despite the disillusionment that inevitably follows a childhood within these borders, I feel a strange affinity with my hometown. I have been the bittersweet witness to the birth of progress constantly interrupted by sirens. Will the strength of this community prevail over the destructive bent of its individuals? I'm not sticking around to find out. Goodbye, Hall of Fame City. Hello, oxygen. I read that at a coffee shop in Canton, where the owner he's a douchebag. They weren't happy. Whatever. What should I do? How's it going back there, Kimi? Mandingo. I just like saying that. Well, bring that up here and we'll do that next. I've never actually done this with anyone. This is exciting.
All right. Get me on the camera. In case I don't know if you've heard Mandingo Dingling, but this is it. It's starting to get so uncomfortable to perform.
It wasn't at first. You should do the one about your mom in the section.
Nah, that one's old. No one wants to hear that anymore. Adult Mart? I took my mom to Adult Mart for Mother's Day? Nah. I saw a commercial about a little vibrator, and I thought about my mom. About these little infomercials, about these little pink vibrator you put on your finger, and it like vibrates, and it's to stimulate the clitoris. On TV, yeah. I saw it, and I was like, and well, I was thinking like my mom, you know, she does so much work, and she doesn't have a husband, and I called her. I was like, "Mommy, do you want a vibrator?" And that's how it started. And now I took my mom to Adult Mart for Mother's Day. Now I'm doing Mandingo Dick. Hello. All right. Hey guys, do you need to feel more confident? Do your skills in the bedroom leave your wife fantasizing about President Obama? Is your penis too small for your body? Do you often lose it while doing everyday mundane tasks like showering, masturbating, or having a group orgy with Asian whores with a giggle fetish? Do your friends often get you birthday gifts of tweezers and a magnifying lens, leaving you bitter and confused? Do you often hear questions such as, is it in yet? Were you born physically female and really? Where? If so, I have the product for you. It's called Mandingo Dick. Dingo, dingo, dingo. Now you can feel what black men have been feeling for years. Trust me, we used to have ours sliced off and pickled. If that doesn't shout admiration, I don't know what does. Isn't that right, Jasper, Texas? Just ask Emmett Till. Take that Porsche convertible that you've been overcompensating for and feel the wind in your hair and your genitals. Finally, flashing old ladies will no longer be offensive. It's a public service now. With more flesh comes more confidence. Just ask the cast of 16 and Pregnant. Your new penis has many uses. Swat flies. Smack yourself in the face with it. Swat flies while smacking yourself in the face with it. What's wrong, former short dick man? Not quite adjusting to your newfound self-esteem? Well, then try our vitamin supplement, Porno Star. Now you too can ejaculate on Lawrence Fishburne's daughter from a mile away, like Brian Pumper, the man who ate G-Unit. Get that promotion at work. Get your wife to stop fucking your pool boy. Finally please your secretary. Use it as a sushi platter. All this and more can be yours with fish smell of $50 value, absolutely free. With 10 easy payments of $9.99.99, your firstborn daughter and 1 testicle. Order today. Dignity and self-respect sold separately by 2,000 hours of group therapy or God. Mandingo. Dingo. 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 Dick. Offer not valid if you are uncircumcised. Dingo. All right, we're going to try to do a group piece. We may not be on camera because you're short. And I'm tall.
I can't. Hold on.
Okay, we can make this work. All right, cool. I'm gonna try to. Now, just tell me what it's about, pretty much, so that
It's about killing people, but not really, because you're right.
Okay.
I told you to read the poem.
I was trying to. I was busy.
All right, hold on. I gotta find it. Where's 28?
After 27. That's 27. There it is. Okay.
29.
You're A.
Group pieces. You've got 10 days to have it memorized.
We're not doing group pieces for the competition.
Don't say that on camera.
We're doing group pieces.
We have surprises. Okay, go.
We're working on it. All right.
You're A.
I am. I've got a tickle in my throat.
That's what she said.
That wasn't tickle. That was cock. Mandingo.
All right.
This is called.
Mandingalingalingalingalingalingaling. All right.
This
Use it as a guitar strum. Go ahead.
You are killing the mood for this poem,
I'm
dude.
sorry.
All right. I have to step into character. It's a bad idea. Disambiguate. Salty. Metallic. The smell fills my nostrils, suffocating me with mentally orgasmic bliss. It slips over latex glove hands. Can't leave prints.
I feel so alive. I'm not crazy, I think, as I wake up shaking. You're not supposed to think these things, but oh, it feels so good. If only they knew what goes through my head. You're not supposed to talk about this.
But really, what's the difference between those who do and don't commit
A choice.
We all have a dark side.
And this is
blood,
mine.
Blood everywhere.
A knife,
blood,
a gun,
blood
a scalpel,
everywhere.
a drill.
Wire against the throat, cutting off air supply. And why?
Power, psychosis,
I'm
hate,
tired
hate,
of feeling
hate.
helpless. You did this.
It's inside us now. It's scary, I know.
But I think I could do it.
Pull the trigger.
Plunge the knife.
Instead, I write. I write to save innocent
And not so innocent.
lives.
I write to release the madness inside.
My shadow self I hide.
When the day breaks, we're all the same.
Pick your poison.
Murder, rape.
Money, drugs.
Whose fear, love, can't let it win.
It stays locked within.
Only to be shared with my pen.
I kill with my words.
I spill ink, not blood.
And hide my dark side behind a smile.
And a notebook. That was supposed to be innocent.
Okay. Oh, I actually like that piece. Damn, I
I'm
guess.
excited about how that turned out.
Yeah, wasn't that, didn't that go really well? We never practiced. We just kind of did that off a whim.
Read that out loud. He's never read it.
Thanks. I never read it. He never read it out loud. We just kind of did that. Kind of did that. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
No, we did here.
Thanks. Thank you.
She pulls awkwardly at her.
Melissa sits in the back of the classroom, afraid to speak up. She pulls awkwardly at her.
Extra loose khaki cargo pants.
I just wrote on Alicia's status about her coming to MPS. I told her she should come, and because she's debating on going, I think it's MPS or Jordan. It was her status, Alicia.
Oh.
Yeah, the girl with the big. She used to have big hair, the really pretty one, and I want her to come for just a second, just so I can say hello to her, and it would be really sweet, and so you can meet her, because you know.
Dude, I love your poem.
Yeah, because you memorized her poem and performed it and gave her credit like you're supposed to. And you love her. Yeah, I know. So it was just like, it just kind of would like be like, oh, hey, I used to like admire your shit, man. You're really good. So, I mean, not that I don't admire your shit now, but I mean, back in the day, it's like, oh, I could never write that good. But yeah, I just want to say, what's up? It would be really sweet. It would be really sweet though if I think it's Aisha or Asha and Alicia did hear, like, I'm not sure how to pronounce Ella Chamalet's name. No, I don't know about her. I knew a lot of it before because I used to look at it on YouTube, and I saw it when they first did it in Washington D.C. It was really good. All right, well, I am about to get off of the microphone. We're gonna have like a 4-minute intermission, and then I'll be back up with some more poems. If anybody wants to Skype in, give me a call. My phone number is 216-466-1922. Yes, I just put it out there. Call me or text me. 216-466-1922. I know you have my number. But go on, or if you can go to dragoninkslam.com, go to our Dragon Ink Facebook page, write and let us know. Let me know that you want to Skype in, or you can just drop by. We're at 1300 West 9th Street, right off of West St. Clair in Cleveland, Ohio. If you guys, and we have coffee. The baristas are open. If you guys want to drop by and buy a slot, do some poetry, we are all ears. We are ready to listen, even critique. Hell, if you want a workshop, we're here. So thanks, guys. Get ready for your 5-minute intermission.
I may get up and do a thing during the 5-minute intermission if I can find it.
I just want to get this out there to a huge thank you to Phoenix Coffee for letting us do this here all night and all day. Jacob King, whose chapbook is available at poetshaven.com, is our barista for the night. He volunteered his services. And if you want time, and Akeem is up here performing, because I know you're watching online, all 3 or 4 of you. But if you want by time, we can do this via Skype. If you can be in. You could be in Afghanistan. If you have internet access and a webcam, you can perform at this show here live in Cleveland, Ohio. It was the first country I could think of on the other side of the world. Australia. Mars.
I don't know if they have internet towers out there.
Like I said, anywhere on the planet and possibly beyond. They do have internet access on the International Space Station.
Didn't they come back? We
But
canceled NASA. Fuck you guys.
yeah, but the rest of the world, you know, Russia, China, and well, I don't. China's not involved with the International Space Station, but Russia and the UK are still up there. And actually, we have astronauts up on the space station right now, even though our shuttle program has been dismantled. They're getting a ride back in a couple of months on a Russian shuttle. So, yeah, the shuttle program has ended. NASA's still working. They'll have a new program at some point in the future, depending on funds. Funds. They need money. Kind of like the Poetry Slam team from Cleveland needs money to get to finals, to get to National Poetry Slam.
It's kind of like our super.
Donations are graciously accepted via PayPal at dragoninc.slam.com. And if Akeem is up here and you want time, I'll be here all night too. I am Vertigo from Poets Haven. I'm the tech guy here because I do multiple poetry shows every month. You can call me too, 330-844-0177. Yeah, it's out there, but it's always been out there.
Okay, give us the microphone. I want to do a thing.
Drooby drooby doo.
Drooby dooby doo. Do we just do the fucking Scooby-Doo theme song with my name? I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm gonna do my favoriteest Buddy Wakefield piece, which I used to have memorized. I used to have a lot of stuff memorized before Akeem came into my life, and now I can't do shit without paper. Because I was like, he's the Grand Slam champion. He's reading. Fuck it. Whatever. Mm-hmm. How's that going for you? Okay. So, this is Buddy Wakefield. He's wonderful. I kind of love him. On the face of her phone, Wileen programs a message to herself. So when the alarm clock rings, the screen flashes. Every day is one day less. Every day is one day less. Jordan tattoos the words "forgive me" in thick black letters on the inside of his arm so that when he looks at his wrists, he will remember to not hate himself so much. What they both keep forgetting is that there is life after survival. After Dave left, Mary started sticking her face between the film projector and the movie screen so that when the credits roll, she still gets to be somebody. When Tara's past comes back, she mashes chalk into the sidewalk until her knuckles bleed. She scribbles and scrapes until the words take shape. And this is what they say. They say, I want to die, motherfucker. Die, motherfucker. Hold tight if I love you, because it might not last long. Y'all, we're all going to die. That's the exciting part. It's learning how to live for a living. That's the tricky bitch. Just ask Denise, whose family taught her when she came into this world that family equals love. So Denise took that shit seriously, but after a lifetime of craving acceptance from their cruelty, she now finds herself jamming Polaroid pictures of these people into her typewriter and pounding out the last letter of the word mercy over and over. She strikes the key, why? Why? And the answer comes in the form of a handwritten letter from the moon. It says, this is brutally beautiful. So are we. This is endless. So are we. We can heal this. Signed, Crater Face. P.S. See me for who I am. We got work to do. But my father, he didn't read moon. He didn't speak moon. He didn't write moon. So there was no note left next to his body when he decided to leave this world on purpose without telling us where he was going or why. There are still days when you can catch me tape recording internal silence and playing it backwards for an empty room just so I can listen to his dying wish. It's true. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, but thank goodness, my family tree was on an orchard on a hill that rolled me into the river, and that river rifted me into the rapids, and those rapids rushed me into this moment right here, right now with you. It's a mouth. This is my church, and this church is a house of healing. Hallelujah. Welcome. Come on in as you are. Have a look around. Stay out of my porn. There are massive stacks of bad choices in my backyard. Clearly, I have not yet reached enlightenment beyond a few fleeting moments, but I'm trying. And I found something here I want you to have. It's not much, just a story, but it's all I got, so take it. It's called Dylan. Dylan's drug of choice was more. So Dylan took more and more and more until the day he woke up, babbling in a pool of his own traffic jam, realizing he is killing off the best parts of himself and claiming he could read people's skin. When he looked down at his heart flap, it said, "Boy, go find your spine and ride it out of here." Wylene's guts said, "Day one." Jordan's arms were fully forgiven. Mary's face, the endless. Tara's knuckles, healing. Denise's fingers said, "See, see, 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 see." And Dylan said, "My smile," it said, "Fix it." So I came back here to the mouth of the river to look at my own reflection under the moonlight and see what it says for myself. On my whole body, it is written, P.S. See me for who I am. We got work to do. As for Crater Face, I don't speak for that guy. His skin is a brutally beautiful handwritten letter from the sun. Give it up for Buddy Wakefield. Woo! Okay.
Those are events that Phoenix does sometimes, and what it needs to say, I don't know if it actually says it or not, but
You have to
in order for
pay
that
them
to
to
work,
bring
you
it
have to
in.
pay a parking fee. So I gotta charge you something, you gotta let me open
They
it.
charge you like $5 to serve you your own wine.
Okay.
I've been at places that do that before.
But Jacob's not doing that tonight.
Well, that's okay, because all my beer's in Skylark's refrigerator. I'm going to do another poem that's not mine, because I have, okay, like normal people have celebrity crushes. I have like poet crushes, like celebrity poet crushes. Anyway, this is a pretty awesome poem by a pretty awesome poet whose work I am just totally enamored with, and he's kind of gorgeous, and that doesn't hurt at all. It's called How to Make Love to a Trans Person by Gabe Moses. This poem makes me so happy. Forget the images you've learned to attach to words like cock and clit, chest and breasts. Break those words open like a paramedic cracking ribs to pump blood through a failing heart. Push your hands inside. Get them messy. Scratch new definitions on the bones. Get rid of old words altogether. Make up new words. Call it a click or a ditto. Call it the sound he makes when you brush your hand against it through his jeans. When you can hear his heart knocking on the back of his teeth and every cell in his body is breathing. Make the arch of her back a language. Name the hollows of each of her vertebrae when they catch pools of sweat like rainwater in a row of paper cups. Align your teeth with this alphabet of her spine so that every word is weighted with the salt of her. When you peel layers of clothing from his skin, do not act as though you are changing dressings on a trauma patient, even though it is highly likely that you are. Do not ask if she's had the surgery. Do not tell him that the needlepoint bruises on his thighs look like they hurt. If you are being offered a body that has already been laid upon an altar of surgical steel, a sacrifice to whatever gods govern bodies that come with some assembly required, whatever you do, do not say that the carefully, shit, why are you calling me right now? do not say that the, it is not, hi Josh, I will call you in a minute. He left his sunglasses here. Where was I? Whatever you do, do not say that the carefully sculpted landscape bordered by rocky ridges of scar tissue looks almost natural. If she offers you a breastbone, aching to carve soft fruit from its branches, though there may be more tissue in the lining of her bra than flesh that rises to meet it, let her ripen in your hands. Imagine if she'd lost those swells to cancer, diabetes, a car accident instead of an accident of genetics. Would you think of her as less of a woman then? Then think of her as no less one now. If he offers you a thumb-sized sprout of muscle reaching towards you when you kiss him, like it wants to go deep enough inside you to scratch his name on the bottom of your heart, hold it as if it can, in your hand, in your mouth, inside the nest of your pelvic bones. Though his skin may hardly do more than brush yours, you will feel him deeper than you think. Realize that bodies are only a fraction of who we are. They're just oddly shaped vessels for hearts. And honestly, they can barely contain us. We strain at their seams with every breath we take. We are all pulse and sweat, tissue and nerve ending. We are programmed to grope and fumble until we get it right. Bodies have been learning each other forever. It's what bodies do. They are just grab bags of parts, and half the fun is figuring out all the different ways we can fit them together, all the different uses for hip bones and hands, tongues and teeth, all the ways to car crash our bodies beautiful. But we could never forget how to use our hearts, even if we tried. Don't worry about the bodies. They've got this. I just found a video of him doing that piece, and I'm a little ashamed of what happened on this microphone right now. How to Make Love to a Trans Person by Gabe Moses. He's like my poet hero. And the fabulous Blair Miller Bomber just walked into the establishment. So I'm going to get the fuck off of this microphone.
If I could start at 3, that would be cool, but I would start early.
Bam.
I will talk some trash before 3.
What's 6:57? That's what I
Here, no. Some people are about to walk.
Oh, well, because we were having an intermission, but Andrew just wanted to do the poems.
Can I have a cigarette off of you? They're in my purse? Ooh. I mean, there's going to be people that I work with who are going to just slowly walk in here. If they want juice or anything, they can get that, right? Okay. Cool. Are we allowed to take a break in this reading? Before I start, I'm going to wait for these people to walk in the door.
We're not trying to set any world records here.
Oh no, so I can just fart into the microphone for 24 hours and it wouldn't set a world record of anything, right? How long is the world record for the longest fart?
I don't know, and I don't think I want to know either.
I do. I want to know. Google it. Google it and get back to me.
Camera is currently aimed at your cleavage.
Oh, hey. Right here? This thing right here?
Although that might increase our...
Right? It might. I'm going to smoke a cigarette before I get started on anything. If that's cool with everyone. I did just get done working and I haven't got paid yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause the recording so it doesn't lock up